Hello, welcome. This is the Daily Dharma, and I am Deana. Thank you for just joining us, or if you've been here before. I appreciate you all of your likes, shares, comments, of course, all of that helps grow the channel, helps reinforce my messages, and let's just get started on your cards today, as usual. Starting with the Sacred Geometry Oracles Activation Deck. This helps me speak, I feel, with the fabric of the universe as it's manifesting, the Metatron energy, opening it to passion and romantic love with that one. So Metatron is helping us either repair or re-envision or enter into a new passionate romantic involvement. And as we have said before here, romance can be beyond the interactions between partnerships, intimate romantic partnerships, of course. So, alright, we have some coming out with that comment. So they flipped this way. We have solar plexus chakra number 3 coming out with romantic love and heart chakra. So the way that this translates to me is that we're seeing someone's actions and we are lit up. There's new energy on the surface, but what's below the surface is this heart chakra reemergence, reopening, reactivation with romantic love. And romantic love has been popping out again and again. With the door open, there's some bugs joining us. Thanks for doing your job, bugs. Get out of my face. Under the deck we have 31 magic. Right next to romantic love and heart chakra. This is very nice. And sometimes this is reminding me there's so many different schools of thought, but one is that when we're born we're kind of more pure, or some people think we're born with some type of original sin. I don't prefer the original sin theory myself, but what it seems to me is that when people talk about then there's this socialization process, and this can bring some people back into their heart through their lessons. That's what it's supposed to be doing, is bringing us back. We're all activating each other to welcome ourselves back to our center, to help others go about their business. It's all about the interaction. But that's a tangent I didn't mean to go on, but it's coming out for some type of a reason. But I'm feeling like as some people get overwhelmed by expectations and the socialization process, and sometimes mental grooming, whatever your situation, I feel that collectively the material path takes us from where we're rooted from our heart center into our field, and expressing and meeting the world from a heart-centered perspective. And as we have negative situations taking precedence in our mind, in our attention patterns, we shift our focus downward, pushing our input receptors and our outgoing approach to the world through the solar plexus chakra. Now, other people will have other chakras depleting or overexpressing based on their personal circumstance, but overall, that descension into the more material versus the compassionate seems to be more when the toxic patriarchal energies seem to take precedence. And we've all perceived that in our past, but it doesn't have to be so dramatic, right? Cards can be so dramatic because we can see how that has played out. But in our own situations, I'm just seeing that as any element of facade, any pretense is giving way, and as the heart is expanding and you're approaching the world, we're seeing the evidence of being a heart-based approach life force energy in this world. We're seeing the implications of that, and it's changing the personal authority base within us over time, right? And there's something new that's activating both of those chakras, and I feel it's this, whatever this passionate new start is, that's got you re-instigating your magical senses. I'm feeling this is a strong alignment of both the heart and the will centers together. It's that gut instinct aligning with the heartfelt impetus to pursue something amazing, a delightful opportunity, as we've been seeing coming through the last few days, and we've got emergence under the deck. So whatever magical situation is arising is lifting our energies back up. It's reblooming the heart center. I'm seeing this like a lotus or a rose. It's the flower of life blooming. The frequency of romantic love supports our journey to feel whole and complete through the experience with and reflection of a conscious lover. So perhaps some are facing a conscious lover coming into their awareness. So we're probably all on various stages here of what that looks like in your situation. Now as that pops out, I can tell that's the delight card right there with miracle. That's nice. Right there, delight and miracle under the deck there. And then these top cards probably want to be seen, but these two were the popping ones. And we had soul time with discernment. Taking a pause to reflect. We saw that yesterday also coming out in the cards. Taking that time to reflect on your best self. I'm hearing that 711. And who you want to bring to the table. Who are you becoming? And under the deck here we have 13 coherence. Understanding between heart and mind. Supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. Does anybody follow astrology? Mercury turned retrograde today, but with Mercury retrograde in my chart, typically it doesn't affect me too bad, but we will just knock on some wood here. Gaia, 28. And then the last few we have 38, remembrance, 16, conception, a hider, 10, authority. We did talk about that with solar plexus. Integration, which works well with coherence, and then heart and solar plexus energies. There's a softening of the will approach and a blooming of the heart center. Integrating those energies for prosperity. In my head, when I was saying something about magic a few minutes ago before I laid out this bulk of cards, I was hearing Midas touch. So there's someone out here who's either got a brand new idea, an epiphany, a partnership, a new engagement, and there's something to be celebrated here, especially with miracle and delight. It's an amazing opportunity coming up. So yeah, take that moment to discern where you're starting out from, where you are meeting this other individual or this opportunity, and take a moment. 911 I saw as I looked up. Take a moment to make a plan, strategize, and I don't mean like strategically manipulative. There's all types of ways to let the universe guide us, but also to bring our logic with us. And that's, I think, what we're talking about when we have coherence and discernment right together on the table. So Gaia being on the outside and soul time on the other side, and they're right in the middle row. So communing with Mother Earth and feeling the messages through Gaia, it's different. It's being sustained and supported and healing any resonance with the mother wound that any of us have. any of that, as my nose starts to itch, any of us who had any type of, whether it was a teenage rebellion, 1010, or any other type of interaction where we thought the mother should have, would have, could have nurtured or been different or said or protected, or, well, protection is generally a father thing, but both parents are definitely charged with the care and the nurturing of the child. And when we don't see that happening, typically in our patriarchal, toxic patriarchy that is socialized, some of us, there's so many of us that think that the mother should have taught us things that she had no way of knowing either, because perhaps many of us had parents that weren't as conscious as we are becoming, and as we're emerging, as our magic is being shown again and again, as we're aligning our heart and our will and our heart and our mind, we're coming back into this. I'm seeing the figure 8 as, like, many of you who have studied the chakras will know that all of them, and I'm going to just keep it down to the main 7 that are from the root to the crown. We're not going to talk about the extremities too much right now, but the root and the crown chakras, the vortices go up and down. So the funnel is expansive at the top and comes down and simplifies through the channels of and the meridians of the body, going in ways all around, circulating through the body and upward through the spine, hopefully all the way through all of the chakras in a positive fashion, and upward through the crown and back down, with the heart being the center. In the center, I keep struggling with this word, the central, this, it's like an axis, the 0 point energy is at the center of your body, that's what I'm hearing. So anyways, the other chakras, 2nd through the 6th, those energy vortices are moving in a what we'll call horizontal fashion. So when people approach us, when we take in the environment, we're taking in the expanse and we're funneling it down through the potentials that we resonate with. Let's say we're having a bad day. Well, then we're going to see every red light, and we're going to see that guy who honks at somebody else as, like, why is everybody so mad? It's our perception. Where if you're in a great mood, you're going to be perceiving every green light that you catch as, wow, I'm glad I caught that one green. You know, it's all in perspective. And yes, some days you're held up for a reason. Some days you get all the green lights. But why are we talking about this? Oh, it's welcome back, Deana. It's the energy that we allow to come through. So as we resonate, whatever we're resonating with is the thing that gets entry into our home, into our sacred temple, into the gut, the ganglia of nerve endings that are all around our digestive system. Maybe you're having digestive issues due to stress. Maybe you're needing to do a bit of a cleanse. I always suggest something very gentle. Fasting can be its own little beast, and it can complicate things for people that have other issues and complexes that they still need to work through. So I think that one piece of advice is not one size fits all. So fad diets are out. You want to work towards nutrition and wholeness, and out with the toxins, gentle cleanse, hydrate always, and then restore with real food, real vegetables and fruits from the earth, as raw as possible, that you can take them in. That's what Gaia's message is, taking time to realign the heart and the soul with our actions, and how we care for ourselves, how we express love to our inner selves is what comes out and expresses our love to the outer world and attracts our opportunities to us, and allows us to say, oh, well, this individual is somebody I would like in my tribe. I'm going to reach out to them, instead of saying, oh, well, this person is way out of my league. I'm going to reach for this low-hanging fruit over here that's really ripe for the picking and is an easy catch, and we can swoop them in, but they might not be as satisfying as something at the peak of its sweetness, at that I'm hearing succulent and juicy, but it's sounding a little sus. Somebody's mind. So prosperity here. Okay, so remembrance, conception, authority, integration. This line here. So, okay, I'm hearing the message, and I've repeated this in different videos on my Facebook feed over the last few years, but think about how much of your biochemistry is literally cooked up by your parents. And then we have this conception key. It's so many of those experiences, even past that phase, then the food that goes into the formation of the fetus and then develops the fetus, the words and the vibrations and the energy field of the mother and the father and the energy. Like, I was reminded just now that this morning I was grazing my minis in the yard, meditating in the sun, and I was thinking about how my parents, when they were just newly married, they had their own stresses of a new couple entering the world, and then shortly thereafter my mother's father died, and I do believe it's when she was pregnant with my eldest brother. And then that goes into that child's makeup, that scarcity mentality, the fear, the grief, the longing, and the pain, unlived dreams, or whatever might come through when you have a parent die at an important time in your life and at a seemingly young age. And this triggers both partners as empaths towards each other, sharing in that grief. And my father had lost his father at a very early age, at 9 years old. And so all of these energies then go into that baby and creates that baby. And then as this baby was being raised, in my personal situation, then my mother was pregnant. They were both pregnant, right? Very quickly thereafter. And then this creates a different dynamic between siblings, right? So I'm hearing there's some type of legacy here in your own dynamic that is has allowed you to have a self-conception, self-perception and conception, preconceived notion that you keep remembering every time you get triggered, every time you have, and triggers can be opportunities, because opportunities can be quite daunting and scary, right? Aligning with those energies. Do we have what it takes? Am I prepared? Have I done the work? Do I deserve? And then there's also those failures and dealing with those, and which ones are we going to itemize? So to finish up the chakra thing, we take that all in the expanse, and as we resonate, it comes into our field. We work through those issues and complexes, and hopefully we transmute the BS, and we lift up the rest, the things that are helping us to recycle that energy through the filter that is us. And our self-concept is then, I feel, what is almost like exhaust from a vehicle pushed out the back of the vortices of the chakra centers from the back. So I feel that the third eye, feel free to correct me, everybody's wise here, right? And what's right for us might not be for another, but I believe that the third eye exits through the rear lower part of the head, and then you have the throat, you have the heart in and out. And so when you see people hunching over, they're protecting the front of their heart chakra. They're curling in. It's a self-protective, very inborn protective measure, or crossing, or holding, guarding and protecting. And then out the back we see low self-worth. And whether or not people are consciously tapping into those energies, there's always heart and mind coherence going on subtly below the surface, where we can perceive of somebody's self-value based on how they speak, how they look, how they care for themselves, their readiness with with what they say when they're not thinking, right? The things that pop out. So there's something here being cleared still, but it's supposed to be not rewritten, reframed. That's the term for going back, journeying back into your psychological past and looking at those things that have always tripped you up, things that you thought should have been done differently, or that somebody should have known better, and really release these people from your expectations and entanglement with anything that you're holding on to, because this tethers you to the bricks that become the wall between people, family. I'm hearing. Yes, 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 Spirit. Building that wall or taking it down. And then we're having authority and integration. So as you integrate your authority, that solar plexus energy, with your heart energy, and then we do have confirmation as this is yellow and green. And then we've got that aqua blue energy. I feel like that's a higher expression. It's the higher heart, I feel, comes through in aqua and fuchsia colors. But it looks like a motor to me. I'm not sure why. There's like a starter. Or a propeller on an airplane. And 10 is the Wheel of Fortune. It's like the Wheel of Fortune, it spins. There's the starter spins. There's definitely this vortex energy that is it's getting, so both of those pieces, they're a gear drive that spins and recreates energy, right? I mean, I'm no mechanic. I'm just a messenger speaking the words that come through. Maybe one of you has that knowledge. But yeah, there's something getting started that's taking off. It's taking flight. We talked about dream state flying the other day. There's something here that perhaps whatever this new opportunity is for you is really putting you in a state of deep understanding about why things in your past were necessary as activations, as things that perhaps truncated healing in certain areas and allowed you to develop a little bit sideways in different ways. Like if you were somebody who had your will compromised, a controlling or dominating, powerful person in your past, that then the taking back your power from that, instead of the shame that comes from taking that domination, then as you begin to emerge into your own character and your own authority, it takes you almost pushing too far into solar plexus to really establish firm boundaries for many, not for all. But this is sometimes letting that pendulum swing us into these sometimes petty expressions that then can show us back to ourselves. Like, well, that happened. And does it have to mean anything? Depends on the severity of your, dare I say, transgressions. Transgressions are just another lesson. So integrate all of these things. I feel like we're talking definitely about a level of ultimate forgiveness and understanding of what was made possible. The pain and suffering that you perceived has activated you in a very powerful way to prepare you for a very deep level of service to yourself and to anyone that you meet. And this level of commitment and dedication, whatever work you're doing, even if that is just aligning yourself and letting people witness your growth, that is powerful. Your transformation is empowering others, it's inspiring others, and gosh darn it, people like you. All right, 24:51. I'd really like to get these daily dharmas down under the 20-minute mark, but at the beginning, I'm finding that there's a lot of rambling, which is just fine. We're just talking through those messages, letting everybody pick up how I speak and catch up with where the symbols are showing me as I try to translate them into an energy and language that you all will be able to understand. Go down that rabbit hole with me. Deep quiet, meditation and stillness. Beautiful energy. We were talking about the third eye earlier. I'm seeing somebody, this may be a carryover from the message yesterday. I see you perhaps astral, or not even astral traveling, but just journeying in your meditation and cleansing and clarifying any debris in your pineal gland, that third eye chakra there, really cleansing and clearing out all of that energy and reconnecting with any elements of yourself very clearly here. And I see you reaching through the veil, almost like that finger. I don't know if you can perceive what this really is. It's this veiled, smoky, etheric figure emerging and perhaps wanting to connect with us. And then whether this is this partnership coming in, perhaps you're visualizing it and conjuring it in advance, or you have and here it comes in. But I'm seeing either you and another, you and your higher self, you and a spirit guide, you and an ancestor, whatever your situation is, really reaching through, and there's contact. I'm seeing these fingers and this whole hand, very, very shimmery and dynamic, like reaching through. And if this happens with you, it's a powerful awakening of your third eye and your ability to communicate in that manner. However you choose and however deeply you choose to, but you need to show up and do your own meditations and practice stillness. So I wish I had hours to meditate, but I have a lot of chores and other things that I have to do all day long. And so as I've said before, I make all of the things that I have to do into a part of my meditation, almost as if I sometimes feel like maybe I was a monk or something in a previous life where I took a vow of silence, a vow of chastity, a vow of meditation and reflection, and I don't even know what all those and the vow of poverty. Check in with your beliefs around scarcity, poverty, your deserving and abundance. Not everyone has to rise and grind and sell their soul to an awful toxic boss in order to make their prosperity. Under the deck, we've had this completion, closing door, number 5. It's as though you've had this epiphany. Something else is reaching out to you. Maybe even a headhunter for a job has come calling on you, or there's just some type of a soulmate energy, something coming in just for you. And the faster that we allow these closing doors we forgive and release. And even if this does have grief to do with your circumstance, not just your ancestors, but you, as my head starts buzzing, you also letting go and releasing them is key to your healing, and it's key to everyone's healing. The healing that you do is exponential on the other side of the veil, and the work that you do is not going unnoticed. So that was closing door completion, and I just, on the wrong side of the deck here, went to pull, and we have Sky Dancers, Surrender. I saw this the other day, and it was something about warriors dancing in the moonlight. I'm seeing this as a singular solitary energy, dancing in celebration with the closing of one chapter. And how do you know you're healed? It's when the same thing happens and it doesn't hurt. It doesn't bleed this time. It's perhaps a disappointment or whatever it may be, but those are the levels of healing when you can wish them well or wish that they get everything that they deserve and you get everything that you deserve in a peaceful, loving, gentle way, and just cut ties. The more that you wish karma on somebody, we're wishing karma back to the same I am that I am and you are. I am that I am. So off this bottom of the deck here, we've got Root Girl, the disowned self, right? That's what we've been talking about. Collecting all of yourself and recognizing that your ancestors, they're reaching through. Somebody wants to soothe you. They see your pain and they really want to come in and support and help you to feel into the basis and the foundation of what makes you special. They see your power and they're not threatened by it. They're not intimidated by it. They don't choose to wish to control, dominate, or truncate your energy and your extreme power. This individual that you're connecting with on that side of the veil is coming in as it's a whole new world. I'm hearing healing. Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain, number 22. So now we have Deep Quiet is 11 and this is 22. We've got some master numbers coming in. So yeah, we're seeing the same exact stance on Root Girl and Fool's Embrace. So this may be two individuals that are coming together in this situation, or they may both be yourself, or they may both be someone that you're dealing with. I'm seeing you hugging your legs, or someone hugging their legs in that posture. Remember, we're talking about curling in. I don't know what this fly is doing here. There's something about the difference of the two individuals too, with one being completely connected with these root energies, this materialism perhaps, or feeling that they need to go, and they're not making very much progress. They feel like they're behind. There's a lot of tangled emotions and thoughts, really a bramble and viney mess up in the head. And it definitely is ready to be cleansed and transmuted and cleared. And then we're seeing this may be the girl, the inner child, and where you're coming from, then reaching into this. And look at the iridescent rainbow colors here on this being. It's like an image that we would see in meditation. And those rainbow energies, I feel it's like when your chakra system is becoming activated through repetitive and recurring meditation. You're showing up through that meditation in stillness and looking and clearing these energies out one by one. I'm seeing those energies of every chakra, breathing into them and releasing one by one. I'm seeing you really transmute these energies and all of these chakra energies. Instead of being small little balls of energy and fury compressed in somebody or in another zone of your body, like myself, sometimes I find myself with an overactive throat chakra. I find I have so much to say and to plan, and then the overactive throat sometimes overcompensates for that lack of action. Many of us that are empaths get into the heart, we get into the thought, and we need to ground ourselves and not always go back into this root girl when we get back to that root. The root, and yes, and sometimes that success is what is threatening. That's what the root girl is. It's being threatened by success, but doing the damn thing anyways. So here it is. All of those chakras are not bashing out. They're not, they're allowing that sharing of energy, that exchange of that figure eight, that Mobius strip that bends and twists and turns, but can become unentangled in hearing. So the energies now are growing gently, easily, and as they expand, all these many vortices begin to blend with each other's energetically. Seeing a little chipmunk, how cute, when they run with their little tails straight up. These energies enmesh, and the energies and the color schemes all kind of blend and circulate amongst themselves, like stirring a cauldron of energies. And I'm feeling that's the rainbow activation energy, that diamond light code energy of stress and oppression and compression, and having that spiky little root again. It's coming through very powerfully. So I want to take one more off the bottom because I already started. Lay of the land, ancestral wisdom. You are definitely here to transmute an enormous amount of ancestral karma here. You were born into a situation for a very powerful activation, and your ancestors rely upon you to clear this. Oh, I'm getting a wave of emotion. There's something very powerful. You're not the only one who was put into this compromised position. One person it was their voice. One person, it was their choice was literally taken from them. Another person, it was literal poverty, somebody who grew up in the recession or in war times. Someone else, it was they had to pull the trigger. They were forced, drafted. What is it in your ancestral karma that wasn't talked about? There's deep silence, and the silent generation, the Me Too generation, is putting this to rest. Whatever it is for you, you're at the pinnacle of this mountain, and all of that red energy is down below, but look at that glorious moon energy. So maybe you need to, or are planning on doing some moon rituals. I would definitely suggest with this lunar eclipse energy in Scorpio, the sign of death, transformation, and transmutation, and letting go. That's the sign of, plus a lunar eclipse is, it follows the seeding of the new moon, is then followed by the harvest of the full moon. And when we have a solar eclipse, that's a brand new beginning, a brand new chapter starting, and then followed by the lunar eclipse. It says, well, in order to make and accommodate space for this higher vibration, for this greater success, there are definitely lower patterns, if those are self-doubt, self-sabotage, addictions, or any lingering anything. It's ready to be cut loose and released. I'm really feeling the power of this message for some people in the collective. I really hope this helps you. There's a miracle here. And let's not forget, magic and miracle are on the deck. Romantic love has been here for days. We've got the heart chakra and the will chakra giving way to understanding, being met by another individual that sees and has traveled a similar activation path. And this prosperity is here. So if it is a new job, I would say there's prosperity there. And then the first card popping out is a reinforcement. It says heart chakra, and under the deck when that pops, it says, I see you in my future. There's joy, glow up, Jupiter, the planet of abundance, which is just about, is it today? Jupiter is moving from Pisces, the last sign in the zodiac, into the sign of Aries. It stays there until spring of next year, and except I believe later this fall we'll have another retrograde where it will dip back into Pisces for a bit. But this, there's tension, senses peaked, wound up. This energy of Jupiter movements that we're talking about, Jupiter is the element or the planet that deals with all things of expansion. It can be luck, timing, but definitely expansion and rewards, blessings. So it is definitely the planet of abundance. So guard your thoughts. If you're thinking negatively, you will have an abundance of negativity flowing through your energy field, attracting that back. So that's why it's so important to cleanse and clear the past and all of those things so that you are remembering who you are and who you came to be, not who others told you to be. So Jupiter dipping back, going forward and back as it is. Aries is the sign of new beginnings. It's the sign of leadership, entrepreneurial, the trailblazer, the initiator. It's cardinal fire. It's lit up. It's innocent. It's determined and resilient. Aries can be forever young because they want to run, skip, and jump. They want to climb the trees. I can so relate. And when it's in Pisces, that Jupiterian energy is bringing in spiritual abundance. It's bringing up old shadow energies. It can be bringing in things that are the deep waters of our consciousness. And being that it's so incredibly tied into our past ancestry and our karmic path, Jupiter is definitely telling us that we're moving out of stagnancy in these old things, the things that we've tried and tried and tried again to surpass. We're at the summit. We're at the peak. Senses peaked. Tension. So that's like the tension before the storm, when you can feel it cracking in the air, when you can feel the tension in a bud as it's ready to burst forth into bloom. Hearing Phantom of the Opera right now. Very intense. That's an intense song. Opening up, Revelation, Emergence. I'll put that over here with the Emergence card. Where did that go? Oh, it was under the deck. Doesn't matter. It's another confirmation with yin yang underneath. Anything else? There's definitely a heart chakra opening up and glow up. So believe it. Believe it. Ooh, under the deck, 1111 twin flame, and what popped out with it? Cognitive dissonance, mind over matter. That's what we're talking about. Who are you? Who are you? Who the heck are you? All right, 1111. I should have looked under there. Go, go, go. Reassess your reasons for busyness and prioritize your goals. Keep it simple. True North, I feel you are my destiny. So somebody's tapping into their North Node right now. I don't know if I can keep my hands to myself. Be mine codependent, possessive, jealous, power control issues, and insecure. And working on my confidence, building confidence. So there's absolutely getting back to basics. We've got the dark hair, eyes features, sending a message, creeping, watching. And then we have the brick house card coming out. Sorry about the picture. There's love in the air. Somebody's observing and looking for clues because they're feeling something. Over the next 48 hours, somebody's going to be harnessing their dragon spirit energy and bringing their full power up to the surface, and it's going to create a miracle. So why hesitate? If you know it's for you, then maybe it's time to just go from overthinking and bring that energy back into your heart space. Believe in yourself. Heyoka empath, maybe a workaholic. So I think we'll leave those cards right there. Oh, that was 4444. I do believe we'll just split the deck after I go one shuffle here with the Tao. and then we'll be done for this day. Daily Dharma. There's a lot of messages in here. I hate naming these things, I tell you. It can be so difficult to really narrow it down into something without being so trendy or clickbaity. I like things to be real and to call the people who are meant to be here. Thank you for joining me. Okay, we did have one pop out. Under the deck we have 57, and popping out we have 23. Perfect. Express yourself completely, then keep quiet. Be like the forces of nature. When it blows, there is only wind. When it rains, there is only rain. When the clouds pass, the sun shines through. If you open yourself to the Tao, you're at one with the Tao, and you can embody it completely. If you open yourself to insight, you are at one with insight, and you can use it completely. If you open yourself to loss, you are at one with loss, and you can accept it completely. Open yourself to the Tao, then trust your natural responses, and everything will fall into place. Trust. There's definitely a crown chakra element that we're seeing through this deep, quiet meditation and stillness. Connect deeply with your own self, and the symbols are ready to show themselves to you. They are begging you to check in if you haven't, and if you have, you've probably already had some of these elements knocking on your third eye door. 57. If you want to be a great leader, you must learn to follow the Tao. Stop trying to control. Let go of fixed plans and concepts, and let the world govern itself. The more prohibitions you have, the less virtuous people will be. Not just hide it. The more weapons you have, the less secure people will be. The more subsidies you have, the less self-reliant people will be. Therefore, the Master says, I let go of the law, and people become honest. I let go of economics, and people become prosperous. I let go of religion, and people become serene. I let go of all desire for the common good, and the good becomes common as grass. So if somebody was perhaps brought up with a real pious righteousness, a real straight and narrow on perhaps morality or some semblance there, or has taken these vows of chastity and poverty and silence in the past, and it's time to reclaim that dragon spirit. There's a situation arising possibly within the next 48 hours of you viewing this video, as it's timeless. Time is timeless. And you speaking your mind and you reaching for that opportunity that it was laid in your lap for you is going to bring about a delightful miracle for you. So take care. Thank you so much for helping me join the grow the channel by joining us and sharing your energies and vibrations with me and us and growing the tribe. I am looking forward to doing so much more, and I appreciate you guys all very much. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.